Well, let's go back to more serious footballing topics, not One Direction and Oli Moos. Let's talk about Leeds United, because this keeps ringing in my head. Agbonlahor, he's a friend of the show. He's due to join us next week. He's frequently claimed that Leeds United under Marcelo Bielsa are a myth. So he's going to be spinning cartwheels right about now, I reckon. I'm sure his Instagram account will be just awash with content about this. But are they? Because it's so hard to work out Leeds, your former side here, Brucey, because they can turn up and be absolutely amazing, but on other days they can have a result like this.
I have to say, I've watched them a couple of times this season. I wouldn't say they're a myth, because I think some of their performances have been excellent. The way Marco Bielsa has them playing, I think the fitness levels that the team shows, they're a breath of fresh air to the Premier League, just coming out of the Championship, I have to say. But I can understand why they do get beat, and I can understand why they get beat heavily sometimes, because of the amount of bodies they throw forward and the way they play. They're so expansive. They leave big gaps on the pitch, and against good teams, they can be punished. So I can understand what Gabby's saying because of the plaudits that they get. However, to say they're a myth, I think, is a little bit strong.
J-Mo, you would probably... I don't know, would you like to be a keeper in a Bielsa side? Because you'd be exposed a lot in a game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with Brucey there, but I'll be more strong with it. I think that what Gabby's saying is nonsense. I mean, Leeds United have been promoted and they are a breath of fresh air in the Premier League, simply because they are so exciting that you don't know if they're going to win by 4 or going to lose by 4. What he gets them to do is, you can see it, it's high intensity for the want is obviously for 90 minutes. And that comes at a cost. And if you're not on your game, you are going to concede 3 or 4 goals. Would I like to be in that side? Yeah, more importantly, it's not so much the being in the side, but I would like to play for a manager like Bielsa, because when you look at Meslier in goal, this is a 20-year-old French goalkeeper. Yes, he was thrown in because of injuries, but he's performed so well for Leeds this season. And even when he hasn't been at the top of his game, which is, you know, a very short game in his career profile, the manager stuck by him. Now, if you've got a manager who believes in what you're doing and he's going to stick by you, then you are going to get the best opportunity to get the best. I mean, a bit like Klopp, if you want, for Liverpool, where he gave everybody those opportunities. So would I like to be there? Yes. Would I like letting in 4 and 5 goals every other week, possibly? No, that would remind me of the times I went down with Portsmouth and West Ham. So if you can keep a happy medium. But yeah, I mean, overall, I'd love to be in that side, because the manager seems to give that team a lot of confidence.
We very rarely see keepers at such a young age as well, being the starting choice for a side. Weren't you around 20 when you started at Watford? Back in the day, before you went to Liverpool? You were very young yourself.
Yeah, well, it's interesting how you phrase that question, Adam, because at 20 years old, I considered my start in professional football as late. You know, and Brucey, I don't know how old you were when you made your debut. I'm trying to think. It wasn't Oldham, was it? Man City. But you know, typically players are making debuts in their teens and quite often playing multiple games. But for me to start at 20, it seemed quite late. Nowadays, 20 is very, very young. Having said that, look across the channel towards Italy, and you've got Donnarumma, who is currently top of the league with AC Milan at 21 years old. He's played 195 games for AC Milan in Serie A. Buffon and Casillas. I mean, Adam, you're a goalkeeper. You'll understand these names with a bit of love and fondness. You know, these are all guys who started very, very young. Fortunately, were given runs in very good teams, you would argue. But the idea of Meslier being able to still command that first team place, again, is a show of confidence from the manager. So only good things can come from him, I believe.